Welcome back. I'm Kim Bailey, Chief Juliana Osborne, and this is Inside Exec. Today we have Beck Cofrancesco with us, and we're not going to call her Rebecca because that's her in trouble name. So welcome, Beck.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Juliana's going to do an introduction.
It's absolutely my pleasure to do the introduction, as we worked together before, and it's lovely to catch up again. Rebecca is a marketing strategist, and
she's in trouble already. She hasn't said a word. Beck,
just
watch my lips.
Officially on LinkedIn, I'm known as Rebecca, so it's okay. But once you know me, I'm always Beck.
Okay. Well, Beck is a marketing strategist and content creator. Over 20 years of experience in the corporate space, but mainly in financial institutions like Citibank, BT, MetLife, etc. But also in a startup like Money Brilliant, which was is a successful fintech startup company. And this is really good because it just shows how diverse Beck's experience is. Beck created her own business, called it Marketing Goodness, and has a mix of corporate clients and small businesses as well. Don't mean to embarrass you, Beck, but I have to say, Beck was named one of the top 10 women to watch for in 2019 by Y.I.K.E.S. What the Y.I.K.E.S does is that once a year they will come up with women that you need to watch and up and coming. Beck, congratulations, you're one of them.
Thank you.
So, today we're very happy to have you at our podcast, and Kim will tell us what we're going to cover.
We're going to put Beck on the spot first of all, because one of my pet hates is social media. And as you all know from previous podcasts, I have talked to all of you about maintaining a watch on your digital profile. So Beck's going to tell me what I can do to enjoy social media a little bit more, perhaps.
But
it's my growth challenge.
Your growth challenge. I think you raise a good point, though. I think everyone rushes into social media without really thinking about why it is they're on there. So it's tempting to just kind of what I call spray and pray, a whole bunch of content out there and pray that it works or hits its mark. But it doesn't always do that. If you're clear about what you want to do on social media, and if you put your settings the right way, so I'm feeling that privacy and security is a bit of a worry for you.
It's that, and it's that I really don't know what content to put out there. I guess is the thing, because I have a myriad of profiles. So I do this as podcasting and as a business, in inverted commas, activity. I do public speaking coaching, which is completely separate to this. I do a lot in the floral art world, which is entirely different to this. And to have a profile, because people will look at my name first, obviously.
Yeah.
And so how do I have a profile that caters to those very diverse groups, so they don't look at it and say, oh, but she's just this or she's just that, and be turned away?
I think you can do it under the one profile, but what you post on the different channels is different.
Right.
So for you, it sounds like LinkedIn would be the most logical channel to promote your podcast and your business. And so everything relating to those two things are definitely what you post. But then you'd also give an insight into yourself with some personal kind of posts that you say you're involved in the floral art side of things. Sorry, I didn't know what that was. I'll have to stalk you later to see if I can find out about the floral art.
I'm famous
in floral art. So I think that's probably picking the channel where you share which bits of information, but it's definitely can be done.
So tell us where to start.
Okay, so big question. Social media is one of those things that everybody wants to be on. Everyone knows that they need to be on it. And I think with this shaking, just so you know, podcast, we can't see the shaking of your heads. Especially if you're a small business owner or you're a professional that in the past you haven't really need to put yourself out there. There's a real kind of struggle with, I signed up to be a small business owner. That I wanted to work differently. I wanted to create a business around my life and, you know, the type of clients or work that I wanted to do. And then all of a sudden I knew that, hang on, I'm actually the product. And that was a really big mind shift. And I think, you know, even if you're sitting in a corporate job, putting yourself out there and opening yourself up to judgment or having people...
There's the lack of infrastructure.
Like,
there's no protection.
Protection can feel really daunting. But what I do know is that the more that I put myself in my posts and share more personal stories and more insight into what I know, the more reaction or more engagement I have with my posts and on my anything that I do in social media. And I've come up with my own little framework because, like most people go straight to, what do I post? And because I'm a marketing strategist, I always go back to, we need to do the strategy before you just randomly post things. So I've come up with my own little acronym because I'm a lover of acronyms. Purely because I remember them.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a remembering tool because there are so many things to remember in marketing. This just jogs my memory. I call this one Y.I.K.E.S.
Nice. Good, because then it's catchy, then we can relate to it.
Well, you can remember as well too, because people are like, yikes, I'm on social media, now what? The S at the end of Y.I.K.E.S is actually about sharing your content. So I flip it and I start with the Y. So instead of going straight to post, it's more like, well, let's start with you. So the Y is all about, what do you want to be known for? And it's a bit of personal brand work, and I know that you guys have had a podcast on values. So it's around, what do you stand for? And what do you want people to say about you when you're not in the room? That's the first thing to get really clear on. And then the I in Y.I.K.E.S is about intention. Like anything with a strategy, you always start with a goal or an objective. Depending on what you want your social media channel to do for you, will also dictate what kind of content or what kind of things you post. So that's why it's really important to know that. We'll use LinkedIn as the example. You would post very different content. Your goal for LinkedIn was to get a new job or to get a promotion or to be known as a thought leader, or you want to promote your podcast, or you want to be known as more of an expert. So all those different goals could be different for everyone. So that's why kind of getting to know your intent.
Yeah. That's
good.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, it does, definitely.
Can we ask questions while you're going through?
Sure.
Okay, sure. One of the big issues I have, and I guess it comes under intent for my thinking, is that I am of the opinion that you give out as much information as you have, the professional information that you have.
Yeah.
Now, I have come across a group of people within LinkedIn who have a very different opinion and are waging war at the moment on the basis that I am giving away information that I should be charging for.
I have come across that train of thought, but I'm more aligned with your way of thinking. The thing is, you can share all this information, and let's be honest, everything's available on Google anyway.
Yes.
So if you Google anything, you're going to be able to pull up that kind of information. But what makes it unique is you and your voice and your spin on it. You're helping by sharing more of what you're knowing. You're actually helping people with that know, like, and trust factor.
Yes. Why I bring it up at this point is that for people who are listening who get bombarded by that kind of negativity, we would like them to know that there are others who think the way you do. And I think that's probably one of my concerns with social media, is that whilst it appears to be this great social gathering of people, it's very much individuals, and it's very hard to find the peer group that you can work with or bounce ideas off where you feel safe.
That's true, and a lot of kind of corporate jobs too.
We've talked about it.
And as Aussies, you know, we don't really bang our own drum, you know. We don't talk about ourselves a lot, or stop bragging.
People
or,
should know.
You know,
Yeah,
you should
people
know what I
I'm
do,
so good.
or that kind of thing. So social media kind of flies in the face of that, like it's a direct contradiction to how we live your everyday life. It just depends, I think. If you're happy, if you don't want to build your profile and you're happy with how things are working, don't be on LinkedIn. I should be saying everyone be on LinkedIn, but if you're not going to use it or you're not going to engage, there's no point. It's like going to a party. I call social media like we're going to this party. Yeah. And if you went to a party, you wouldn't just go in there and shout everybody how good I am. It'd be weird, right? I walk into a party, hey everyone, I'm so good, I'm back, I'm awesome, I'm here, everybody come talk to me, buy my stuff.
Yes.
I've met him.
Yeah.
I've seen him, yes.
Like, it's just odd. You kind of, you know, warm yourself up. You'd go in there. You'd kind of scope the room, I suppose. Do I know anyone? Do I want to have a chat with someone? Who can I feel comfortable with? And if you go, oh, I don't know anyone, you might kind of saddle up to, you might go get yourself a drink, or you might grab some food, because likely there's somebody else lingering around those things. And the key is to get yourself involved in a conversation so that you can see what people are interested in.
And by sharing, just back to that point, is how much would you give away in some opinions. I don't think it's giving it away. I think it's building relationship. I think if you in a room, back to your party, if you name somebody else and say, well, how did you do that? I'm not going to turn around and say, well, let's make an appointment and it costs you so many an hour. You know what I mean? No. What you do is, well, actually, I did that. And then that might think, oh, I like how she thinks. I like what she's done. I'll connect later or ask for help, or I might
But it's also in that interaction you can gauge how much information they're actually taking on, or whether it's just an opportunity for them to tell you what they know.
Correct.
Or whether they're just the bloodsucker.
You know, as business owners, you know the people, the tire kickers.
Yeah,
like
you do.
You know, and instantly you know whether it's a genuine question or it's I need to just steal info from you because I'm too tight to pay.
Yeah,
and I think
that's true.
Like, you know.
That's true, and you do know it. Yeah.
For those that are listening who are moving perhaps from a bigger environment into something that they're doing themselves, that's not a judgment that they're necessarily confident of within themselves.
Yeah.
And so we have to give them either the tools to help them be able to assess people when they're on their own, or let them recognise that they do have that gut feeling, that instinct. You know, just let it out. You know, use it again. And you probably haven't had to use it for 20 years in the corporate environment, but you need to use it now.
That's true.
Sorry, we've digressed.
But it's right. And I think part of even running a marketing business, one of the things that the first things I did was set up some kind of tools and frameworks so that I didn't have to think about it every time, and that the questions that I ask in my briefing form weed out that.
Yes.
You've got to have a filter.
So it kind of filters if you haven't thought about what you need yet, then you're coming to talk to me too early. Or you don't have a budget yet. It means that either you're not serious yet or you don't have the money right now. But it doesn't mean I won't help you. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like I don't know if criticise is the right word, but same kind of mentality. Like you give away too much. I'm like, well, people helped me along the way. Yeah. And if I have the time and it's not inconvenience, I'm happy to share what I know. Yeah. Because it gives people a leg up, and when they're successful, guess who refer people to me?
Builds reciprocity.
Those
if they can't use you, they'll at least talk
tell
about
other
you.
people. Yeah. But the other thing is, in most of that, when you give information, it's still general. Right? So where the benefit comes in, you say, well, how to be a good speak in public, talking in public. You can have the general information, anybody can read that, but I know from Kim helping me, that would not have made me do it right, just without Kim then tailoring it for me and saying this. And the same with marketing. They can pick up some of your tools, but not your intellect as it relates to their situation. Exactly. And I think that's where the difference is.
Definitely. Yeah. That's why one of my first answers is usually it depends. Like starts with it depends.
Of course.
Because it depends on you. It depends on your business. It depends on your model. It depends on where your customers are. Yeah. It depends on your ROI. Yeah. It depends on your margin to actually spend on marketing. You know,
and
if you make $1 from a product, you're not going to spend $10 to get one.
No, exactly.
You know, it depends. It's a great kind of.
Yeah.
It depends.
Good answer.
We're up to K, that's right. Which brings you down to knowledge, funny enough. We're talking about knowledge. Yeah. So before you jump into any platform, it's important to know how it works. Oh, we'll go on Facebook because that's what most people are on Facebook. I'm comfortable with Facebook. I'll do Facebook, right? Which is great, but if your clients aren't on Facebook, it's not really the right platform for you because, you post all this stuff and you'll go, marketing doesn't work, I get crickets, no one's commented on my post, no one's done anything. It's like, because your clients aren't in, like if you're selling, say, financial advice just as one, without kind of building your own community of people around you, you're interrupting me on a Sunday night when I'm scrolling through looking at cat videos.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to hear about financial advice, but I'm escaping.
Yes.
You know, where LinkedIn is for business. So when people log into LinkedIn, their mindset is different as well, because they're actually going on there in business mode. And the conversations, although they're getting more casual, and which is great because as the platform evolves, it's bringing more of the social aspect into it, they're in a business frame of mind. So the conversations you have and the leads are more likely to convert than leads on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
But knowledge is really just understanding how does the platform work, what kind of people are on there, what kind of content works on that. So like you wouldn't post a blog on YouTube. Like it sounds simple, but Instagram's a visual channel. So you have to have a library of images and you need to be ready for visual content, all those types of things. And E is our favourite, it's my favourite, is engage. I have my own little saying about, remember when you were a kid and you used to play that game, Knock and Run?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have the, or was that just me? Kim shaking her head.
Farm girl, sorry.
Oh, too far. You'd be busted. Well, I say don't post and run. The best conversations happen when you stick around. And it, again, that kind of party analogy where you don't go to a party, just eat the food and go. You'd hang around, you hope you thank the host or you'd be polite with each other. So engagement and engaging on social media, especially on LinkedIn, when you feel like you've got nothing to say, still does the same job. Because you've already worked through why you're on there, you post and comment and add your insight to content that other people have posted. And you know what? When you log on to, logged on to LinkedIn before and you see so-and-so commented on this post. Oh, what did they say? Right? It has the same effect as actually writing original content. My tip is if you are scared to get started and you go, I've got nothing to say, why would anyone care what I say? Start commenting on other people's posts. And that's like the, dipping your toes in.
Does that apply to just like? Sometimes somebody said it really well and you don't want to say, oh, you said that very well. I just put like. Is that good enough or not really?
A comment is worth more than a like. A like is good. The gold comes in the commenting, right? So when you do start to post, and it's this magical thing where if you comment on my post, I'm appreciative that you've commented on my post because someone's taken the time to read what I've written.
Yes.
And so when I see you post something, reciprocity, I say it. I can never say that word right. That's excellent. That I want to go and comment on your stuff.
But is it also
and then hold your breath.
I'm not the best social media person.
But that's how it works.
Is it also back to the party analogy, which is I like? Is it also about this way people will get to know how you think as well and get to know you as a person?
Definitely. Again, back to why do you want to be on there?
Yes.
If you want to just share your whole life, that's what Facebook's for. But LinkedIn, although you have personal posts, there's different kind of ways of doing it. I did a test because I'm a little bit curious and so I like testing posts. So last week I posted, because I'm an amateur photographer or photography hack or whatever you want to call it, but I love taking pictures. And, I was at Uluru last week and I just took one of my photos I just love and I took my SLR out for a spin. Anyway, and I thought, I've never said that I'm into photography. I wonder what will happen. Right? Because I tell people, share more personal stuff. And so anyway, posted a good old photo and I said, I think I pose it as like, who else has a creative outlet? Right? Mine's photography. Here's a photo, like I'm just sharing this with you, like blah, blah, blah. It's from my SLR. I don't get it out nearly enough. That post that I thought I posted at the wrong time too, because I was just, as I was thinking about it, I didn't really plan to post that.
No strategy.
I just hang it out there. Has had the most engagement I've had for ages. Because people then started commenting, I'm a singer and I do photography too, or I do whatever. And do you know what that's given in that was like a week ago? But running into someone, they're like, I saw your photo, it was really great. I really like photography too. So it actually gives people real life reason to talk to you when you see them. Like you're actually, by sharing some of that insight, you're making, like, and I hate the word networking, but you're making that networking part of being a human so much easier because it's not awkward. So now that I know you like floral art, I'm going to find out what that is. So next time we meet, I'm going to say, hey, I checked this out.
Unbelievable.
And then, but then it's a natural conversation, not a, so what do you do?
Yeah.
Like,
it's the natural and genuine is
genuine.
what you're looking for,
Because, you know, people want to do business with people. That's what social gives you the opportunity to do. And the other thing that I haven't mentioned so far, although I've talked about, you know, what do you want to do and what's your intention or what's your goal for it, the other thing you need to, that's like super important, is around what does your audience want to know?
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? We forgot, like, the number one thing is,
of course.
what will be of value to the people listening?
Well, it's no different than product development. Here, I've got this thing.
Yeah.
Everyone buys
it. It's crazy.
Oh, what? Nobody wants it.
It's crazy. And that kind of goes to the S in Y.I.K.E.S, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Which becomes about share. It's sharing, working out. Most people will have 3 or 4 kind of what I call content zones or content pillars that you want to be known for. And it's about thinking about your ideal, say if you were looking to get leads for your business. So you're like, who are the businesses that I want to work with? What topics are they interested in? What do they need to know about? And what can I add? And what do I also like talking about? Is there one part of that? Because, you know, a business could have 10 or 20 questions that they want to know about. Yeah. But you look at them and you're like, oh, I'm not really the techie person, or I'm not the accountant person, but I love the strategy piece over here. So I'm going to talk all about that because that's what I love doing. And guess what happens when you talk about stuff you love?
Comes through.
The passion, excitement, it comes through, and then people go, oh, they're quite good. I want to work with them. And the same with the difference if you wanted to get a new job, your content would be about positioning yourself into the area that you want to be. So say you wanted to step up, you would start probably talking about leadership and different articles on managing people or management issues, or showing that you've got a grasp of big picture issues and trends going forward. So that's kind of about the sharing. And that's how you get to what you know.
That's good. Well, when we look at our podcasting that's been going on for some time now, everything you said I could relate to, because our clients, listeners, however, probably listeners is the most appropriate, they are engaged with us and they tell us what they want, and they tell us what topics they want us to cover, and they also give us case studies to look at as well. And you're right, we're not experts in everything, so we bring guests and they're subject matter experts, as you are now, talking about social media and LinkedIn in this case. But so we bring them in, and I think that concept seems to work because this podcast, our podcast is global, so it doesn't matter where you are. That works. What you're saying really works. One thing, when you went through that and what we're talking about before, a lot of our listeners, I know, and some of my mentees will be very interested to know, would you be able to help them personally in what you said here? So they've got their LinkedIn profile, they do that, they heard this, and they will play it a few times, I'm sure, and they'll have a go themselves. But are you also able to actually work with people and help them with that?
I do that. That's one of the kind of offers that I do. It's pretty intensive. What I do want to call out is, and I always say, you have to be ready to do the work too. What happens is we just run a little coaching session where I basically run through those kind of steps, and I've got, again, a series of questions, make life easier, so I make sure we pull out the right information, and just to make sure that your profile is then matching what you want it to do for you. Okay. And then I help with rewriting. The 3 most important things are the headline, your intro, and your description. And, with your profile, it works a lot like Google.
Right.
So you need to, if you want to be found, you need to help LinkedIn find you by using the right keywords and descriptors, so people know exactly what you do and who you help.
And be there regularly.
Yeah, and then you've got to show up. And I've just helped someone who's looking for a new job, and with his profile we looked at, totally revamped it, and he started getting, he said the difference in the very next day, more people started contacting him, recruiters and things like that. And he's worked out, I'm coaching him instead of writing it for him. I'm coaching him on how to structure his articles. So a bit of, copywriting coaching as well.
That's good.
We're going to take a break in our discussion with Beck at this point. Please join us for part 2 of the discussion, but for now, I'm Kim Bailey, she's Fuliana Osborne. We've been talking with Beck Cofrancesco about Y.I.K.E.S. This is Inside Exec.